This is the Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Let's go nuts! It's Jimmy Nuts! Drive out with a car!
With your hosts, Mark Martinez.
Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
And the English Professor.
It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.
Hey, this is former WWE superstar Duke, the Dumpster Drosy, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
And welcome back to another episode of Can Crushers. Generic entrance today. Mark Martinez alongside the Guru, and your shit is up on our webpage. Did you see that?
I have not. I was going to ask you since I didn't, I got chastised last week for not doing my homework, and then I do it, and I don't hear a thing, so I didn't know.
You only did it last week after 2 weeks of knowing about it.
It was 1 week.
A week and a half.
Week.
All right, whatever. Nonetheless, it's up. And you look good in that picture, by the way. You have a great photographer.
Yeah, that would be the...
Me?
Yeah, unfortunately.
That would be me. So you also brought presents down, and that'll probably be the picture this week, because the presents are right inside the box in front of me, which I didn't open before we started the show, and now we can't open them because we're in the midst of the show.
Let's just clarify, these are not presents for Mark.
No.
These were presents for
You.
Chad that I'm showing Mark. Copyright. We got to get that in there.
They would be great presents for Mark, though. I don't know. You keep asking me, did I order my TV title yet? I have not. It's coming. It's just a matter of getting my shit in gear. Like, so much. I remember to order it when you're here. It's not that I don't want it. I've talked about this TV title all along. And why didn't the NWA bring the red TV title back? I think it looks so much better than the black one.
I don't know. There's been feedback both ways about it, but probably 90% that I've seen is they wanted the red one back, but I really don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. The red one, red leather, it just looks so much better.
It pops.
Yeah. If it has the black on it, it reminds me of the old national title versus anything. It's just weird to me. I don't even remember it being black before.
I really don't either. I don't either. All right, so personal life. You have anything going on this week?
Not much going on. Just been watching a lot of wrestling. Little one in school. That kind of stuff. Reading some good books. Some good wrestling books. J.J. Dillon, Wrestlers Are Like Seagulls. Did not realize the man was a wrestler for 20 plus years.
J.J. Dillon.
J.J. Dillon. He broke in some of the guys that he wrestled, the old-time champions. Just a great freaking book. You can get that, just about anywhere. I found it on Crowbar Press. Best price on Crowbar Press. Like $7, $8 cheaper than on Amazon. But one I want to plug.
Well, then I'm going to get one that No, because this has to do with something. I'm giving a teaser. You have to read this book for more homework. Just leave it at that.
Oh, God. Okay. Yesterday got a package, and I've been wanting since we saw Magnum TA last year. Wanted to get his DVD and movie. And it's very limited where you can find it. I mean, you can find it on Amazon, but it's like $30-$35, and I knew it wasn't that expensive. Well, it's on High Spots, $15.
We need to reach out to them because we bring up High Spots a hell of a lot to get some type of merchandise discount or something.
The stuff that they have on there, just if you can think it or dream it,
It's on there.
It's on there.
It's a warehouse. This warehouse is like 7 football fields long, full of any wrestling stuff out there.
Yeah, DVD, shirts, which going into the story. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to order this. Well, when I go to order it, it comes up, would you be interested in this package for $25?
Of course I would be, right?
And I'm like looking at it. I want to see what's in there, and it has like 8 different things: a shirt, 2 DVDs, like a little collectible. I don't want to say like a toy, but something like that. Then an actual action figure, and I'm like thinking, holy shit, this is worth it. Why not? Even if I get some unknown stuff
on top of the $15 for Magnum.
On top, yeah. So it was like $42 or something
Shipping
total
handling,
and everything. Yeah. So ordered it. You don't know who you're getting or anything like that with the extra stuff.
It's like a loot box, then.
Yeah, basically. So we get it in, and most of it we geared towards the little guy.
Of course. It's always a win.
He got an old AJ Styles shirt from TNA Wrestling.
Okay.
The action figure that we got, and these are unopened, Psycho Sid Elite.
Are you kidding me?
Figure that I have not been. I just haven't gotten online to see how much it's worth. Not that I'm going to get rid of it.
No,
but an original Psycho Sid.
Buying that at Kmart or Walmart or whatever back in the day is $20.
$20 itself. And here's the kicker: you get an autograph of some wrestler, whether it be it could be somebody from today, it could be somebody from years ago.
Is it going to make the studio?
Oh yes, you would want this. So I'm like, I open it up and I flip it over and I'm like, no shit, Iron Sheik. And I was like, really?
You son of a bitch!
After what we went through at
Son of a bitch!
I was laughing, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
My shots of doing this now, I'm gonna get on High Spots, order this loot box, and I'm gonna get
Carlito.
Pee-wee Anderson, or something like that. I'm like, you get...
I was like, Iron Sheik. I was like, that just made it. And then the DVDs were actually good DVDs. One was Shimmer.
Okay. Oh, I love Shimmer Ride. Yes.
And
you need to bring that one down.
Another one was it was an independent, but it had a bunch of guys like AJ's on it, Seth Rollins. I mean, just tons of it was like their early stuff. I haven't watched it yet. Haven't sat down and watched it yet.
Did you look at the Shimmer card at all to see if it was a Tessa one or a Britt one or anybody that we know?
I did not look at the names. I was just so enthralled with the Psycho Sid doll and the
Iron Sheik freaking autograph. Yeah.
And here's what's funny: the picture that Sheik is there, he has the WCW world title.
The WCW one.
The big WCW big belt.
Right.
He has that, and I kind of looked back, and here there was an angle for one of the 3 or 4 matches they had him in where he actually stole the title.
Over 5 years.
Yeah, that they still paid him for. He actually had taken the title in a thing in a storyline and shot pictures with the title.
Damn it. I hate you. I hate you for so many reasons today. Well, I have some homework for you, and then we'll get on to some stuff that actually is going to happen in wrestling, or has happened in wrestling, and so on and so forth. But you need to read this. Body Slam's memoir of a wrestling pinchman. Okay? You need to read that.
Just heard about this last night.
Okay, well, I have it. You need to read it. And,
okay.
It's written by Gary Michael Campetta. Okay? I'll leave it at that. It'll lead to something else. Okay? It just start with this one. You might have more.
Okay.
Okay?
So start with this one, and I will have more.
Probably. Right. And it's a great read. I'm going to brief myself again on it, as there is another one, but one at a time. One at a time. All right. So let's chat about some stuff that happened in wrestling. First of all, I want to say this coming Tuesday, Sam Adonis is taking on Jay Bradley in OVW. Sam Adonis, Corey Graves' brother. You've seen him before at IWC. Yep. Jay Bradley, one of the friends of Can Crushers. Pictures out there where he's choking hell out of me. You saw him at NWA.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
so
I was like, where do I know that at? But
yeah.
You say yes.
The Crockett Cup. So that's a big match. And I don't know. I just lost track of thought because people were texting me. ROH had a lot going on last night.
Last night, they're working with, we'll talk about it, NWA developments. Telling you, this is going to be, the Crockett Cup is shaping up to be possibly one of the best pay-per-views, if not the best pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah.
Bar none.
Bar none. I just wish they'd get their shit out there so people like us can order our tickets. ROH, OVW, Zicky Dice had a challenge for all of us.
Yeah, interesting.
We'll talk about NWA down the line. This is just randomness right now.
Yeah, go on to YouTube and find it, Zicky Dice Challenge, and it's basically from that point that he did the interview. If the NWA can get 100,000 more likes, then he will do anything
outlandish,
anything that the fans want. You want to have him have his complete head shaved, eyebrows, eyelashes, whatever. You want him to dress in a 3-piece suit with a man bun.
Dye his hair.
You want him to dress in women's clothing and wrestle
scaffold match.
Storm, whatever. Pretty interesting. They're really going with this.
Another thing involving the NWA. Midday yesterday, I was at basketball all day. Midday yesterday, I get a notification from the Twitter that Dave Lagana says, hey, if you can do some great audio, you can shoot yourself. Don't DM me. Just reply back to this, and, maybe we'll be in touch with you about doing some stuff. That's pretty awesome. So during a timeout of the basketball game, I forget to play a commercial because I'm more worried about retweeting Dave Lagana's message thinking, hey, how will be great. Lagana says, hey, I'm going to work with these two schmucks up in Ridgeway, Pennsylvania. Hey, whatever. So I threw our name in the hat.
It would be awesome. I was going to bring that up, slipped my mind, but I seen that last night and I was like,
oh, don't worry.
I was like, ooh. Would that not be, and I know this is Sunday morning and it's early.
Maybe we can get the Crockett Cup information.
Shit to do some kind of spot,
oh my God,
like at the Crockett Cup, or I don't know, maybe be invited down to the tapings and do something.
Be unbelievable.
Just as long as the spot has to do with, never mind.
With Thunder Rosa
and Camille, and they're just
and Allison Kay,
yeah,
and Marty Bell.
Did you see their fundraiser that they had last night?
Did you see the picture that they took of their fundraiser?
Yes, I seen the picture.
Thank God they put their differences aside.
Yes,
I wish they put them aside more often.
I don't know. They could go a different way with this. They had this fundraiser was
Girl Power.
Girl Power, the women of the NWA, running outside in a distance, in nothing but their panties.
Half naked.
Yeah.
My grandma would say, she's half naked. No, Grandma, she's pretty much all naked. She's got pasties on.
Yeah. You got to check out the picture on NWA Power. The only one that was disturbing was there was one fan got a picture with all of them, and they're just all there, and this guy's dressed up, and ODB kind of has her hand around, cupping his twig and giggleberries.
There's a picture. This is going off track. It's not even on the sheet now. a few years ago, did you see the picture? It's been resurfacing again now of Becky Lynch in a fan. Like, she takes pictures however you want. Gilbert did our shtick with us, and so most fans are pretty cool. You know, put your fist up or, you know, double fist or something cool. This fan was like a snowball prom wedding picture date. Like, he has her by the, I don't know, the waist, and asked if she would put her arms over the neck. And you see just in her hand around the neck, her fist is just clenched. Like, I love Britt. I love Tessa. Let's name all the names of the wrestlers. Amber Nova, Elite. I wouldn't put them in that. It's uncomfortable for both of us.
Yeah, that would.
Why would you say, hey, I've paid this much for a picture, now let's do this? Stop being an effing creeper.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that runs the fans off.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry,
the
runs
wrestlers
the wrestlers off.
Yeah. They're taking the time to take a picture with you. Just stand there and do something goofy, make a fist, you know, do the I love you.
Be like I was with Camille at the Crockett Cup. I was scared to death to touch her because she would probably have killed me.
Yes,
but she said, put your arm around my waist. Okay, I did.
Okay, gently,
because if I touch the wrong area, she'll kick my ass, and then Aldous will beat me with the 10 pounds of gold.
All right. Did you see one more thing before we bring up the real crazy story of the week? Did you see your girls coming back part-time, possibly?
Kelly. I did see that after the her last surprise appearance. What was it, 2 weeks ago?
At the Rumble.
There's a little bit floating around. She was on Raw the next day.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I'm sorry.
Whatever.
She is. Oh my God.
Kelly has made it into the podcast now for probably 4 straight weeks for no reason, just to get you all hyped. And that when you and your wife go back to listen to this, she knows I'm just poking the bear.
No, she knows that I seriously have the hots for her, and she sees why.
So she sees why, so we could work something out. All right.
Dreamweaver.
All right. Omega and Cornette can just...
And this ain't even Cornette.
No, it's not, but it's just combined, just putting them together. They need to have a reality show, a sitcom, HBO special about them. This is unbelievable. Go ahead. This is your story, so I don't want to jump on it.
The whole thing with Cornette, and we know he's, misses the old time wrestling and, story and kayfabe, and he hates Omega. I think it would be okay if it wasn't for these 2 instances, but Omega wrestled a sex doll when he was in Japan, and like some 10-year-old or something like that girl. And Omega made the match, with the girl look as good as he could and everything. And Cornette is just, I'm all for having fun and everything, so I didn't really see much of a problem, giving the girl a lifetime memory. The sex doll thing, but anyway, they're just pissing match back and forth, and Omega's taken to calling Cornette's supporters mouth breathers who don't understand the psychology of wrestling. Now it brought Dave Meltzer into it. Uncle Dave. And Dave said, next to John Cena's comment about Brock Lesnar being the best in-ring worker, this is the stupidest thing I have ever heard. That Omega and Okada's matches were 10 times better than Ricky Steamboat and anything Ricky Steamboat and Ric Flair put out.
That's horseshit.
There's
Sorry. No.
It's just like, so now they're just pissing back and forth. Omega's insulting anybody who follows Cornette.
Outlandish. Let's just say this is outlandish.
Just seems like a work for something. Like
no possible way. No possible way Cornette's coming to AEW at all.
Just for a couple of TV appearances or something. It just
I would hope. I'm on now the other side. I will listen. I will dabble every once in a while on Cornette. The dude cannot give Marco Stunt or Orange Cassidy life. Like, there's a point that, all right, Marco Stunt, whatever. Orange Cassidy, we don't like his thing. I hate Roman Reigns. I don't like the Young Bucks. But he doesn't even want them to breathe anymore. So to have them
he's a bit venomous. I give you that. I kind of laugh at it. It's entertaining. It's sad. He grew up with the business. He loves the business so much, and he's just, and it doesn't give him a right to be the dick that he is, but he is just so depressed on the state of the wrestling today, and so pissed because AEW really, really had a chance to do something special, and because of who's managing it outside of Cody,
that
Young Bucks
right there,
Omega,
that's why he's
just
upset.
They're just dicking around. The whole Riho and everything like that, and the Young Bucks booking the tag team division, which explains a lot. He hates what they're doing, and it's turned from constructive criticism at first to he almost doesn't give him a chance now. So, all right, we're going to move on because I'm not going to go down this path, but so turn the channel. Stop watching it. That's all you have to do. So how about switching up and talking about NWA? Oh, yeah, you got canned from NWA. How about talking more about NXT because he's not watching NXT? Talk about there's other indies. Look at us. We talk about anything and everything. If you hate it that much, stop. There's something in it, though. Like, because Brandy has brought up a couple things that he's said. So I don't know if you're going to see him on AEW, but I think he's actually still leading into doing something with AEW.
I got to say this funny. I sincerely don't believe it at all. Jim Cornette is the leader of the Dark Order.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, so we got an email this week that intrigued me, and we're gonna give you Thad. We don't say last names. If I know you, I will say your last name. I don't personally know Thad, so I'm not gonna. Thad, you know who you are. He sends us an email. Hey, paraphrasing. What are some of your favorite wrestling songs, theme songs, stuff by wrestlers? So I'm like, wow, this could go to be a great segment. So I could say, okay, so I had another email back with them, and I said, do you mean, and I brought it up because I was watching AEW, do you mean something that somebody is saying, like Judas, because Jericho, because this is the big song right now. Everybody sings it. He's like, yeah. So me going another way, I'm thinking, oh, I could do this. So our homework right now is, because we're not answering a question, it's a generic answer for this week. Our homework for next week is we're going to bring in our top 10 wrestling-related songs.
Right.
I don't know if that's what Thad wants, but I'm a dick.
I said wrestling songs. Now, this can be anything from
Pile Driver
to, I'm not going to give mine away, my favorite of all time. Oh, God.
To Judas.
To the Russian national anthem.
How about the Mongrovian national anthem?
Mongrovian, yeah. Did you, and anybody that needs the information, we got the information where you can sign up for Mongrovian karate.
Right, that we posted
all
that.
Levels, okay.
We posted that.
They could use the money. They're poor folks down there.
That was, I don't know how the hell you found that. That was unbelievable. All right, we're 25 minutes into this train wreck of a show today, and we really haven't even talked wrestling yet.
Not much this week. I think AEW will hold
our attention for most of our talk.
Yeah,
But we can dabble.
NWA was. I enjoyed
NWA
NWA.
was good. I'm still pissed at them. Get me some frickin' dates.
Well, yeah. All right. The whole scheme of WWE was rough. All right, we'll take a quick break. But before we take a quick break, who are we gonna hear from?
Who are we gonna hear from?
Al Snow?
Collar and elbow.
I try to throw up softballs for you every week to get you involved in the
I don't have my
podcast.
glasses on when they're doing it. I can't see anything.
I'm 5 feet away from you. Hey, guys, listen, Collar and Elbow, our great sponsor, working with OVW and Al Snow. You hear it over and over again. I reached out to them. I need to get a new Collar and Elbow shtick, a new ad, because I love the one that Al sent us, but we need something to freshen it up. We got a new intro, so why not get a new Collar and Elbow commercial? Nonetheless, hats, hoodies, tees, all your wrestling gear. I can't say it enough that the Macho Man one is my favorite. With the purple shirt, the sunglasses, you have Al Snow and Head on the one side. I know the English Professor has the Mean Gene one. I have the Dusty Rhodes one, just the normal Collar and Elbow hoodie. Guys, I'm in the stuff all the time. It's unbelievable. Maybe it's time for a new shipment to come our way, too. So I definitely...
Quality stuff. Comfortable.
It's comfort. It's my favorite T-shirts. They really are. You think I'm saying this for a plug.
No, I've seen it. I've seen different wrestlers and stuff like that have ordered stuff, and fans in my carousing on the websites and stuff like that talk about it and saying that it's the most comfortable stuff that they can find.
Talked with Amber Nova this week on the Spotlight. So guys, go back and listen to that. That was fun. She is, let me tell you, she's been in the wrestling business for about 5 years now. You're going to see her on one of them soon. Like, she's all over the world already making hay, as Mom and Grandma used to say. She's something. She's wrestled the best.
She definitely is.
She's wrestled the best. She's gotten great trainers, and she knows about Collar and Elbow too. She's got her own promo code, but ours is Can Crushers.
Can Crushers.
Capital C in Can, capital C in Crushers. How much will you get off, Chad?
10%.
Off of everything.
Everything.
Look at that.
I'm learning.
He's learning. All right, well, we're going to go to Al. We'll be back with what's going on in wrestling this week.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Tune in for a tune-up. You're listening to Can Crushers with Amber Nova.
Speaking of Amber Nova, what a sweetheart. I forgot to say that when I was done. She is such a sweetheart. I love the interview with her. Guys, if you haven't listened, go back and listen. I know a couple people have listened a couple times. She's great.
Yeah, beautiful lady, very social.
Yeah, met her at WrestleCade, and there's some spoilers on there about next year's WrestleCade. So,
speaking of, watch the WrestleCade website and that for announcements. Obviously, we know when it's going to happen.
Really?
Not hard to figure out, but ticket
packages,
everything like that are to come out soon. Then again, we heard that about the Crockett Cup.
We're looking at the 27th, 28th, and 29th of November this year, folks. So, still won't be home for the wife's birthday on the 30th because we'll be driving home that day.
We've got quite a few months to deal with that.
But again, the anniversary is always the beginning of November, so if I cover that, the end is okay.
I might have to chip in so you can cover yourself.
Okay. I don't give two shits where you want to start.
WWE, let's get the worst out of the way.
Let's get the worst out of the way. So, Raw, all right. We always say the worst, but there's always something I like on Raw right off the bat. I like the whole Randy Orton Edge thing, that Randy comes out, he's getting booed. He's actually got heat right now.
Yeah.
Because he destroyed Edge. It's returned after 9 years.
This was a thing that made me uncomfortable when I was
Now, this happened last week.
Yeah.
But
his interview, this is old school, like, holy shit. This is like Dusty Rhodes getting his leg broke. This was some serious heat. If this would have taken place back 20 years ago, yeah, there would have been a riot.
A stabbing.
Yeah, something.
And I like how he
and
just...
if you're in Mid-South, probably a shooting.
I like how he just says, I don't want to talk about it, and leaves.
Such
pissing the fans off even more. I love it. This is going to be... They could blow this by WrestleMania. That's a long time. They could blow this by WrestleMania. But if they don't, this could be a match I'm looking forward to WrestleMania.
I think they're going to keep this one.
Because Edge only has appearances in over 10 appearances a year and 4 matches a year. The big shows. Imagine that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a star power that they're going to have with him. I don't think they're going to push this or screw it up before WrestleMania, because Randy Orton's original opponent scheduled, penciled in. We all know that could change, but AJ Styles is
on the shelf.
Unfortunately, out indefinitely. It was announced earlier this week. Not a good sign with his shoulder.
No.
The surgeries, they originally thought 2 to 4 weeks, and he could at least be on TV, do something like that, no wrestling, but now they're saying he's out indefinitely, and that's not good.
No.
For him.
I'm sorry that she's involved in this horseshit storyline, but I'm so happy that she's back. 9 months on the shelf, double shoulder surgery, Ruby Riott. She needs pushed right now. I've always loved her. I'm glad she's back. It's not going to be for WrestleMania, though.
No.
It's not going to, but maybe right after WrestleMania, she deserves a shot. For everything she's done prior to the surgery, she was hot.
I see them developing this storyline with Liv Morgan. And then they have the Battle Royal, Women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania, and I think she's going to be the winner of it this year.
I'm all right with that already.
I would go with her, and I'll stick with her unless she gets injured or something stupid happens. I can see that.
I'm all right with the Ruby Liv battle. Cool. You saw it as soon as she came out. You thought she's turning on Liv. There was already.
Yeah, you knew.
There was no way. Get Lana out of the picture. That's the only thing I want. Just move her along. Let Liv and Ruby now battle. I think, Ruby's good to great wrestling. Liv's okay to good. I think they could still work something.
They could have a good match.
Yeah. Lana involved ruins it.
Lana is a less talented version of Mr. Charlotte Flair.
Yeah. The things that I don't care about. Let's get to Vega. She's got somebody new.
Well, she just brought him in.
I know, and I like this story. Like, Angel Garza comes up from NXT to take on Hermbota. This is a Heenan family type of stable right now.
Plug and play.
The number one guy is down. Hold on, I have a family member of yours that's going to beat your ass because he doesn't like you as well. I like this is going to get screwed up. I will not.
But they're all good wrestlers.
Right. So this is going to get screwed up. But you could have Andrade and now Angel working with Vega. there's something there that you can grasp onto.
Latin exchange.
That's a great. There you go. I bet it'll be the Latin experience.
Just as long as Selena's in it, looking as good as she did the other night. Oh my gosh.
Ray's been saving everybody under the sun. At some point, does Ray say, screw it, I'm going with Andrade and Angel? And then they just beat the shit out of Humberto because he's got finals?
I think what's going to happen is Ray's son, Dominic, is going to make his debut. I think he's going to turn on Ray and go with him.
Definitely.
But I think Ray is too sympathetic as a good guy to go with them, and he can put more people over as a good guy than he could a bad guy.
Oh, I agree. Does he lose his mask soon?
I hope not.
So you're gonna say at WrestleMania Andrade gets a haircut.
Unless it's a hair versus mask match, he's not gonna lose that mask.
Well, that's what I think it is. I think
if it ends up being that, I can see him probably losing it at that point. That's the only way.
He's had it off before, so
it's not like it's any big deal, but
right, it's not like it's a big reveal. I don't know. Seth, Rico, and Bob, and Rico won the chance to fight Lesnar at Super Showdown Saudi Arabia 27 or where the hell's gonna.
Yay!
Nothing, right?
Right along the lines with Goldberg.
What? We didn't get there yet. That's on SmackDown. All right, go ahead.
Right along the lines with Goldberg, them promoting, and you'd think, okay, not that we really care. He's going to have, anything close to a decent match, but you think he's going to be on the TV. And what does he do? It's a tape message where he challenges The Fiend for the title. What exactly has Goldberg done?
He knocked himself out.
Besides knocking himself out, almost killing The Undertaker, and beating a second-rate wannabe Shawn Michaels, Dolph Ziggler.
Nothing.
But then I thought, I honestly thought about it. It's a Saudi show.
Right.
And this is one step lower than SmackDown in McMahon's eyes. So he's just throwing shit together for namesake. Ooh, Goldberg. Ooh, Undertaker.
Is Undertaker going to be there?
Still seeing the rumors that he's
against who? The thing is,
does he wrestle or does he just make an appearance? Are they trying to set up another dumpster match with him and Goldberg?
Well, Sting has officially been cleared. This isn't a WrestleMania match. If you put Undertaker Sting on now at WrestleMania, that is the bathroom break match.
I don't think so. I think just the intrigue
of two 70-year-olds going at it. I can go to the local senior center and watch that.
I just think it would be a bigger. It's not going to be a huge match or anything like that. Maybe Sting decides to wrestle and The Undertaker comes down to help him. I don't know. I think it would be, versus a lot of stuff that we've had in the past couple of years with WrestleMania, I think this could have a little bit more intrigue because both of them, even at an older age, still can perform with the right people. Okay. Goldberg and Undertaker, no.
Well, no.
Undertaker and Sting?
I don't know.
I think it could be this. It's not going to be no 5-star match.
No
but
shit.
I think it could be a sleeper match that just comes out and surprises you. Because for their age, they're both in good shape.
Yeah, they're in great shape health-wise. I agree.
So just have a good brawl. Have the Undertaker sitting up. Have Sting beating his chest.
Just do their spots.
Like that. Yeah, have something.
Don't
like
do
that.
moves then.
Don't do the high impact. Do your clotheslines, do your body slams, do your suplex. Don't do the stuff
that kids do today.
Yeah.
Don't try it.
Although it would be interesting to see the Undertaker try to do a flip off of the top rope on this Sting.
I'd want to see either of them try to do a Canadian Destroyer.
If one of them does a Canadian Destroyer, we have to do it for broadcast. We have to do a video for the website.
All right, deal. Before we go on to SmackDown, did you see one of our local promotions throwing I know this didn't make it across the board, but locally, Imagine Pro Wrestling sneaking in there during SmackDown with commercial.
Yeah, I'm like looking at this and good commercial. It ran. I was like, why is this? It just didn't click to me because I generally tune out to most of WWE stuff unless Adam Cole's in it.
Right.
You know, and I was like, oh, this is the stuff that Mark's been talking about. Coming to Reynoldsville. Where are the other two?
Altoona, Blairsville, or Altoona's all the time. That's kind of like their perfect air quotes home. But they're going to come up to Reynoldsville on April 4th. We had been talking about going to it. You can still go it. That we have to kind of transition our Easter around because people are working, people are going out of town. So that's
you don't need to screw with Easter. You're already screwed with the wife's birthday. You know?
Right. I can't. I got to do holidays as they come.
You can live in silence with one person. You piss off the family.
Yeah, I'm done.
You're going to be sitting at the little kids' table where there's no little kids.
I sit at the little kids' table already. I usually sit in the basement because that's how much my family loves me. I just get scraps thrown down the steps at me. Well, here comes the meat bone. So I can't go to that one. That's in Reynoldsville. The Patriot's going to be there doing a meet and greet. I've met him, but really haven't.
Nice
guy.
Yeah,
could
guy
reach out to him. There is one this weekend. Imagine Pro Wrestling in Altoona. Shane Douglas is going to be there. Don't know the full card as of yet, but that's something we could look into and discuss off air. And then down the line, there's one in Blairsville. They're going to have monthly shows all the time somewhere. So possibly talking about even trickling up to DuBois, which DuBois Reynoldsville is the same damn place to me.
Yeah.
So
it looks interesting. I mean, the package was very well put together.
They have some guys that you'll know too. The Mandime's there, Slade's there, Chris LaRusso's there, but but this isn't IWC. They're twisted a little bit.
But it's still the Mandime.
He's a mouth breather. Yeah. He's a mouth breather there too. The downfall is the dime piece hasn't been to Imagine with him, so there's no reason to talk to him. There's no reason to talk to the Mandime.
That was the only good thing about him in the first place was her.
Well, you know.
I mean, that and, you know, wasting a little bit of money to throw toilet paper at him so he'd, you know, feel at home with the shit that he throws out there.
All right, back to SmackDown. We can throw him under the bus for hours. Miz and Morrison actually start the show, and they do the dirt sheet. Nobody gives two shits. This crowd
dead.
This was a horrible beginning to SmackDown, and then it got worse because you have New Day coming out. No, you had the Usos come out first, right? No,
New Day.
New Day came out first, and I don't even know what they were doing. Then the Usos come out. Zig and Rude come out. So now there's 4 teams. You're like, wait, but they're not dressed to be in the ring. The other 3 are dressed to be in the ring. What the hell happens? And all it really does is set up a match between the Usos and Zig and Rude. Why did we need all the other teams out there? This was a bad beginning. I'm not
my 5-year-old who loves wrestling, even jack-offs like The Miz and stuff like that. He loves watching wrestling. When they come out, he was like, wide-eyed and looking, what's wrong, bud? Dad, what is this crap?
Right?
That's from a 5-year-old, Vince.
Yeah, it was a bad beginning. This was a horrible SmackDown in my book.
The only thing that was semi-good about it was the Goddess was on. Alexa Bliss was in a match. She lost the 4-way.
It was Mella, Dana, Naomi, and Alexa Bliss, which we need to talk about. Bayley at ringside, and Mella gets the win. I am okay with this.
Yeah, I didn't. Granted, I'm more of a Alexa Bliss fan.
obviously.
Right.
You know, anybody who has something to do with Corey Graves kind of loses points, so Mel is written down on there a bit. I kind of seen this one coming when they announced the match. Nobody takes Naomi seriously.
With her return, I thought it was going to be a one-off. This is going to be a one-off. Nothing against Mella or Naomi or anything. This was going to be a one-off. But I thought they pushed Naomi that this is going to be her one-off and move to the side again. What worries me is Naomi's going to get a run at this damn thing, and she's going to win it in time.
I hope not.
And that's what I don't know. Mella, her and Bailey are true friends. Fourth wall down. They're true friends, and sometimes friends matches, like real friends matches, are better than workers matches. So I think this is going to be a great match.
I think it's going to be a good too. You know, I got no problem with Carmella. She looked good in her matches against Charlotte Flair. When she wrestled her and when she beat Flair, she looked good in those matches. I don't have a problem with this.
To have Graves on her side does suck because I'm not a Graves fan either. But Mella is money before him.
Yeah.
You know, I was one that was on board with her and James Ellsworth. I love that shtick.
Yeah.
I really do. Otis is preparing. I hate to bring this up all the time. Otis is preparing for his freaking date. This is another thing that was stupid. Unbelievable.
Come on, give the big guy a break. He's trying to romance her.
Yeah, he's trying to romance her. All right, WWE is over with. Let's go to NWA first this week. I'm not happy with the changing of the song. I
give it a couple of weeks. I'm not exactly on board with it yet, but let it sink in a little bit. That's all I'm saying, because NWA, we were so pumped for them having a show, and then they come out with this. You know, they could have had Milli Vanilli as their...
Oh my God.
Blame
it on the rain.
They could have had them as their song, and we would have loved it. I say give it a few... Let's get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to change that I don't love NWA or anything.
The one thing that NWA could do, though, announce ticket sales and date for the Crockett Cup.
The thing that bothers me is every time after a pay-per-view, this is stupid. I'm just reaching for shit to complain about NWA for a minute. This is not season 3. Every pay-per-view they're naming everything. Like season 1 was with the 8 episodes with Cornette. Season 2 was when Stu came and did the NWA TV title. Now that this is season 3, Sean Mooney is part of it or whatever. Stop naming it seasons.
It's just weird. They're trying to have current terminology and...
You're a wrestling show! You don't need to!
Yeah, it's like they're trying to just mix a lot of stuff. They're experimenting, they're seeing what's works.
Shit works.
Yeah.
The talent in the ring works, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Alright. Tim Storm talks about he's going to have a match next week with Latimer. There's rumors about him retiring. He says, go F yourself, I'm not retiring. And then Camille and Tom come out. And they bring out a Mama Storm. This was funny.
This was weird. I thought they were going to have Storm lose it and just like kill everybody but Camille on this. But he kept his composure and walked.
Mama Storm told him.
Walked away. Yeah. Weird but funny storyline.
Funny storyline. Old school.
Yeah.
Matt Cross against Caleb Conley. Stark's on commentary. This is a good match between, I don't want to say youngsters, but people that people don't know. I've been a Matt Cross fan since WrestleCade. I've liked what he did down there. This was an alright match.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match. I liked it.
Starks is going to work with one of these guys soon.
Yeah.
So. Aldis calls out Marty for Free Enterprise, which is taking place probably right now, guys. If you're listening to us when this is posted, Free Enterprise is on the streaming ROH Club membership thingy.
Yeah, and they have it on Fight TV, too.
In Fight TV, yeah. Free Enterprise, the matches are...
It's kind of like their developmental, though.
they'll have most of their big names on there. They'll have one main event match. It's just kind of their developmental show.
But Aldis calls out Marty to be at Free Enterprise, baby, whatever. Do we know anything from that last night?
Just I don't know if we wanted to break this or not. We have a new Ring of Honor champion.
Okay.
Thanks to the Real World's champion, Nick Aldis. Roosh has regained the title. That's the only details I have at this time that I can find.
PCO, part of Villain Enterprises, right?
Yeah. A little bit of a development.
Do you see PCO maybe transitioning his way over to NWA now as well?
No. I think he's going to stick with Ring of Honor, but
Flip is not staying with NWA. He did his one-off, so I'm thinking maybe we have PCO have to fight for a little bit before. It's a long time till April.
Yeah, I think they're going to have PCO is going to stick with the Ring of Honor side. I think at some point, and I don't know how close because I don't know when ticket dates are.
NWA.
They're going to have, I don't want to say invasion angle, but on the shows there's going to be brawls with NWA guys and Ring of Honor guys setting up a few matches at Crockett Cup.
Nice.
I mean, they're already doing it. But...
They're already doing it. And then Thunder Rosa, Allison Kay in a rematch. What puzzles me is Melina is at ringside with the commentators, not talking, but before the match says, whoever wins this, I'm challenging him for the title.
Yeah, because
we knew this.
She's a greedy bitch.
She's a greedy.
She wants the title, and if you noticed after the match, which was another great match between these two, I don't think it was as good as the pay-per-view,
no,
but not much less.
4 stars compared to 4.5. Yeah, 5. Yeah.
Melina said about Thunder Rosa owing her everything and bringing her. They set the seeds because you look and Thunder Rosa's looking at her like, bitch, please.
Right.
And then she kind of sets her a little bit straight afterwards, and they all kind of laugh and walk away. They're planting the seeds already.
So Rosa is going to be... And NWA doesn't care if you're good, bad, ugly, heel, face, whatever. They like who they like. So is Rosa going to make the heel turn, the face turn?
I think
because Melina's too much of a bitch to have her be face.
Yeah, you can't have her. Yeah, she's got to be a bitch. Not overly knocking her in-ring ability, but she's not a sympathetic baby face.
Right.
She has to be the heel. That way she can, the heel tactics and use that in her match because she's not a Thunder Rosa. She's not somebody who can really get down and wrestle a lot.
All right, so we liked it. Moving on, AEW. Holy crap, I didn't know we're this far into the show already. Some things we'll talk about, some things we'll pretty much skip over. Moxley starts against Ortiz, and great match, whatever. He jabs a flipping key into his eye.
A little bit of payback, a little bit of revenge. I like it.
I love it.
I'm okay with it.
I love it. Eye for an eye, he says.
Eye for an eye. Piss Jericho off. Again, gets the storyline going.
This is great. Moxley, last night he was at IWGP.
New beginning. What is this? Trip number 5 in 3 weeks? 5 in 3 weeks. He flew out.
Unbelievable.
After the AEW tapings, he went from there to the
Alabama
airport to fly out.
Yeah.
Just unreal. And
that's probably why he was early in the night.
No, anybody who knocks him and says he's bland and blah blah blah,
y'all are smoking. Dude is the
Y'all?
hottest wrestler in the business today.
He's everywhere. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And for New Japan to pay him all these flights, this ain't cheap.
This isn't out of his pocket either.
You're talking a couple of grand just for the flight.
Yeah.
And the titles. They don't keep their titles on American wrestlers that aren't exclusive to New Japan. Occasionally they'll put the titles on. They would in years past put the titles on them, have a short 2-month, 3-month reign or something.
But they're over there the whole 3 months.
He's over. Yeah, he's back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing independent stuff. He's doing AEW, and he's doing New Japan. Now throw in the autograph signings, the Jericho Cruise, which he was a humongous hit on. Dude's all over the place, and he deserves it.
Yeah.
Kudos.
He's making more money now than he made in WWE. I don't care. I will throw that out there.
That's without. Cody even said that. Year and a half ago,
probably 2 now,
close to 2 years ago, saying he was making more money wrestling on the independents, doing the NWA stick with all this
ROH,
everything like that, Ring of Honor, making more money then than he was with WWE and working less than half the time.
Yep. This just because I want to talk about a scenario that got brought up on Facebook, and it makes perfect sense. I'm sorry I forgot who wrote it. I can pull it up real quick as we get it go.
It was probably me.
It was not you. It was just posted this morning. So probably on your walk down. Best friends with Orange Cassidy against SCU. Okay, SCU wins the match. Fine and dandy. The Dark Order comes out. Okay, and this is where I threw it out there that Marty was never going to be part of the Dark Order. Cody said that right off the bat. He's never going to be part of the Dark Order. Or was it Matt Jackson? Nonetheless, one of them said that. Somebody online here it is. Pat Lupino is a dork and he says fake news, so I don't know who that is. Joseph, he says, here's something to think about. When in the WWE, the Ministry had mysteriously high power. It was initially supposed to be the fallen angel Christopher Daniels. What if Daniels is just targeting himself and he's actually the high power for the Dark Order? It's a good spin. It's an old school storyline.
It's an old school. It's a good spin, but I think it'll. Not that the Dark Order has been.
You hate. It pisses me off that you hate them. I love them.
I'm just not getting it because they're not going after like one person, and
they're taking over the world.
But it's just, I think if it was Daniels, it'd be a killer. I think it needs to be somebody that they bring in.
We said this before, yeah.
It's got to be.
If it's Jim Cornette, you're fired.
I say Cornette would be the funniest thing. I'd probably have to go to the hospital from lack of oxygen from laughing if it was him. But it's going to be Luke Harper.
That's who I said. Yeah. All right.
Orange Cassidy. may God be with you.
No.
I seen the match that you were announced for. I'm going to start a GoFundMe page after this. When you go up against Noro Suzuki from New Japan,
good luck.
Just make sure you have a will and your insurance premiums are paid up and everything like that. Dude is going to kill him. You won't even have to take your hands out of your pocket. The match will be over and your head will be laying across the ring.
Tell me you didn't at least snicker a little bit when everybody was out on the floor.
And he laid down? It was funny.
It was funny. All right.
It brought me back to Damian Sandow.
Yes!
It was funny.
Yes. All right. MJF comments about taking the lashings.
We just need to get to the lashings.
We do.
There's nothing else on this show.
No, there is. There really is. Britt. Please. Britt's on the show.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it.
Britt the bitch. I like it.
See? First of all, this is bullshit. This is enough bullshit that your number one fucking draft pick by AEW cannot win a match on TV. Her record, 8-97 or whatever the hell it is, all her wins are on the dark part of AEW. Can she not get a win on regular TV? This was me before she picked up the belt.
Who's the Riho's younger sister or something?
I don't know
this
who the
week?
hell is it. Yuka Shukahashi or whatever. I was bitching, and then I'm like, this sucks. I'm writing my notes, and then all of a sudden, Britt's got the bell, and she waylays her in the back. Blood, because she hit her so hard in the back, blood's coming out of her mouth, and she gets her in her dentistry move, and a tooth comes out. Tell me this is not good.
It is. Britt makes, in this situation, and we love her, great young lady and everything. This is a situation where she has to be a bitch.
Yeah.
This is another thing of, okay, we know she's a doctor. She's got the mandible claw, STF type move. She hasn't won matches. This is where she just needs to be a bitch. And this is, honestly, without causing Kenny Olivier and Riho too much heartburn, this is the only way they're going to get the title off of her.
Yeah.
Is by having Britt be a bitch.
I agree. I thank you.
I just want to see Britt and Statlander in a match. Preferably with Jello or pudding, but that's a whole different thing.
We can skip through the Butcher Blade, Lucha Bucks Omega match. Really,
just another filler. Bunny always looks good.
Kip Sabian and Penelope, Joey Janela, not even a good match. The Inner Circle, an eye for an eye. Jericho says, all right, there. Now we're doing the 10 lashings. I watched this Thursday. I didn't watch it live. So I had read, I didn't see it, but I had read that people were a little bit annoyed with it, that it took 10 to 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it was. It needed that. It could have taken an hour for these, and it was done, in my idea, perfect.
They did well. I think they could have made it, I think they could have shortened it. Not by long, but I think they could have shortened it a little bit and in that made it more violent. Maybe like another burst or two of multiple shots. Or
but
maybe
each
Cody
one told a story.
Yeah, maybe Cody was laying on the ground, selling. No, that shit hurt.
That shit hurt.
He's laying on the ground. Oh, and then MJF comes up and whips his ass when he's laying on the ground. I have no complaints with this other than I thought maybe it took a little bit longer. I do like them bringing down the people that they did.
All right, let's do it in order.
The young clucks.
Let's do it in order. After one, out comes the Butcher, the Blade, the Bunny, Kip Sabian, Penelope, and Britt. So Britt's already aligned herself with all of them. That's the bad people coming to say, beat the boss.
Yeah.
Cool. After 3, Arn Anderson comes down to support. Okay, doesn't really do much. Fine and dandy. All of this, by the way, is with the annoying referee that I can't stand.
Yeah.
After 5, Dustin comes down, gets face to face with Wardlow. After 7, the Bucks come. Okay, that makes sense. You would have thought maybe the Bucks before Dustin, friends before the brother. The brother is holding out.
Brother coming down first made sense. He wanted to take the lashes and everything. The Bucks were coming down for support.
if you'd slap the Bucks with a belt, you'd probably go around them 3 or 4 times.
Bucks should have came down.
I don't like them. I don't
like them either.
I could have done without them being down. I could have done with the Bucks coming down and the Bunny, the Blade, Britt, and everybody attacking the Bucks and beating the hell out of them.
Well, that's like the whole bad people, and I don't know why we're ripping into this. All the bad guys come out after 1. Why doesn't a little bit of good people come out after 2? And that's where the Bucks should have been right off the bat.
But see, other than Cody's friends, there's nobody that's ever aligned with him there.
Right, well, the Bucks then. Have the Bucks come down after 2. And then Arn after... All right, we're pulling nothing. MJF gives Wardlow number 9. And for the love of God...
Right up the frickin' spine
to
the back of the head.
God!
Oh, my God. I was like, okay, the other ones are blistering up, bloodying up. And he cracks him, and I'm like, that went right up the spine, and you see the belt from about the middle of Cody's back all the way up into his hairline in the back. I'm just like...
These were unbelievable shots. After 9, Brandy comes out. Pause this whole segment right now. Does Brandy just... Is the Nightmare Collection gone?
Done.
Kong has been beaten up. Mel kind of did her own thing. So now the Nightmare Collection was a 2-month legit waste of time.
Pretty much. And it flopped.
It did flop.
This was a good way. This was kind of like, not that it's even comparable, but this was like after the Chris Benoit tragedy.
Oh, Jesus. I didn't know we were going there.
No, it's storyline, because if you remember, Vince was supposedly killed in a car wreck, and they were going to have a memorial, and the show started with Vince in the ring. You know, sometimes life imitates entertainment and not the other way around, blah, blah, blah. This made sense because you seen the tears in Brandy's eyes coming down, and they acknowledged, not that anybody didn't know, but, you know, Brandy, and that's his wife, and the tears in her eyes. This was good. This was the one person coming down that made absolute sense to me.
And I think it's the perfect time.
And it's weird for me to say that because Brandy's acting skills are about on par with Iron Mike Sharp's wrestling skills.
Come on. Brandy's a little bit better than Iron Mike Sharp.
I don't know, but I like the whole segment.
Was
it the absolute most brutal, strapping?
It was better than what we saw in Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, it was better than that. Guess WWE's little thing, like I said last week, to try to take away from the AEW. Yeah, they failed miserably on that, and pissed a pregnant Brie Bella off. This just looked bad. This reminded me of the ECW, Sandman, Tommy Dreamer, caning, almost, except for the degree that Dreamer was getting back up and saying, "Thank you, sir, may I have another?"
Yeah. I don't know. All in all, like as we said earlier, all in all, just a week in wrestling.
Yeah, it's just another developmental week. WWE's pushing the Saudi show mostly.
Speaking of let's head over to the English professor and what he has to say.
Towards the end of the 1983-84 school year, I was walking to Sheepshead Bay High School with my 2 older brothers. I was only 7 and far from a kid genius, so I wasn't going to attend any classes. My oldest brother, Dom, was a struggling student there during the day. He wasn't going to take any night courses. The smartest of the bunch, our middle brother, Anthony, probably could have breezed through high school at his age of 12. But the reason we were heading to Dom's high school after hours was because we had WWF tickets. We had been standing at our seats, or in my case, standing on my seat, in the gymnasium for what seemed like hours to me, but likely only had been maybe 20 minutes when we heard a commotion in the entryway to the gym. Greg the Hammer Valentine had showed up late for work and had quite the crowd surrounding him. He wore a cream-colored button-down shirt with a wide collar and a brown sports coat. I couldn't believe that this wrestler I had seen on TV was now only a few feet from me. I jumped off my chair and sprinted towards him, but before I could get close, Dom grabbed me by the hood of my jacket and pulled me back into my seat. The card was pretty typical of a B or C house show for the time. Special Delivery Jones wrestled 2 matches and won them both. In the opening match of the night, his headbutt stunned Butcher Paul Vachon long enough for the 3 count. Later in the card, he beat our hometown boy from Bay 8th Street, Steve Lombardi. It was a good night to be a good guy as Tony Atlas press slammed Samoan number 3, Samuel, for the win. There was always a draw on these house shows, but we were lucky. We saw 2 draws that night. One featured Tiger Chung Lee and some guy he probably should have beaten. The other showcased a Japanese wrestler no one knew against someone else no one knew. While the fans had a tough time distinguishing the good guy and the bad guy, both wrestlers worked hard, displaying solid mat wrestling and high spots. In between matches, Howard Finkel reminded me and some of the other kids to not stand in our chairs because you will get hurt. I didn't listen to the Fink. I stood on my chair until the man behind me stuck a finger in my belt loop and yanked me backwards. I wasn't going to let being leashed by my brother and a total stranger ruin my night. The main event was about to start. The Hammer had replaced the shirt and coat with a long, flowing red robe over his black trunks and boots. He hadn't even done or said anything. Just his introduction drew loud boos from the packed high school gym. The jeers turned to cheers as his opponent, Rocky Johnson, hit the ring and warmed up with some shadow boxing. I don't remember much about the match other than Valentine had used some dirty antics during the fight, and just as Johnson was gaining the upper hand, the Hammer got himself disqualified. But I was a happy kid because the Soul Man had won. I saw Rocky Johnson live a couple of other times. One particular card was at another high school in the neighborhood. I was most excited to see the main event featuring Superfly Jimmy Snuka against his hated rival, the Magnificent Morocco. But my second most anticipated match of the night featured the Soul Man. In a 6-man tag team match, Johnson joined former champs Tito Santana and Polish power Ivan Putski to take on Johnson's extended family, Afa, Sika, and Samu. The good guys jumped up and down in a 3-way hug celebrating after a pinfall win. But Howard Finkel, who loved to ruin my nights at the matches, announced that it was 2 out of 3 falls. Anthony threw his hands in the air. "You got to be kidding me! Why didn't you say that before?" I can't imagine Finkel didn't open the introductions with this important piece of information, but judging by the boos and chants of "bullshit, bullshit," I guess he missed it the first time. No problem. The good guys just had to bat .500 for the win. Santana took a Samoan drop in fall number 2, and Johnson dropped the 3rd fall after a vicious headbutt left him rolling around the ring holding his head. He stayed down for a while Putski and Santana took a knee beside him. I can remember the card and the feeling of anticipation leading up to each match, but it was Johnson's performance and his writhing in pain that has stayed with me all these years. While he wasn't successful that night against his in-laws, it wasn't long before he and Mr. USA Tony Atlas became the first black tag team champions in the WWF by beating the Samoans. The last time I saw Johnson live, he was a lumberjack for an Intercontinental title match between Tito Santana and Greg Valentine. The Hammer had taken enough punishment from his challenger and was taking a walk, but Johnson wouldn't allow it. As he waist-locked Valentine, I thought back to their match I saw a year earlier at my brother's high school. Johnson locked his own wrist around Valentine's belt line and turned his hips to whip the Hammer back into the ring. Once in the ring, Valentine tried to take a cheap shot kick at Johnson. "Kick his ass, Rocky!" I shouted. The match is a classic and appears on at least a couple of DVD compilations, but it was once again Johnson's moment that stands out as a memory for me. Each week, I look for inspiration for this segment, which I call the Professor's Pontification. I try to find something that ignites a spark that brings me back to how I felt when I first discovered pro wrestling. Dwayne Johnson shared portions of his father's funeral with the world on social media. As he recanted some of his father's stories, I felt that spark again. I remembered how I looked forward to the intro of WWF Superstars because it showed Andre the Giant throwing a big boot into Sweet Hanson's face, Bob Backlund winning with a victory roll and holding up his belt, and Rocky Johnson hitting a drop kick on Mr. Saito. If we were fortunate, we got to see some of those superstars during the course of the show. Johnson was always smooth as silk as he moved from one hold or maneuver to another. And while his opponent would struggle to regain his footing, The Rock would swim from one offensive onslaught to the next. Usually a pair of drop kicks set up the sunset flip and the win. Sometimes one or two drop kicks were enough to knock out his adversary, and there was no need for the sunset flip. When we heard from Dwayne Johnson about how his father broke down barriers in the 60s and 70s and got fans in an entirely white crowd to cheer for a black wrestler, but in his Hall of Fame speech, Rocky said he wanted to pave the way for all athletes, no matter the color or race. As a kid, I cheered for him because he was a good guy, because he fought hard and always did the right thing, and because he was exciting to watch. I actually wasn't 100% sure what first black tag team champions meant. Of course, I don't mean to diminish that accomplishment. I couldn't, even if I wanted to. My point is, Rocky Johnson accomplished what he set out to accomplish. He was an inspiration to all people. He was an influence on kids in a Brooklyn schoolyard during recess when the boys would pretend to be the famous wrestlers that they saw on TV. When a black kid could pretend to be Macho Man Randy Savage and a white kid could pretend to be Rocky Johnson. Sharing video from his father's funeral was a very selfless, giving gesture by Dwayne Johnson. The 3 times that I saw Rocky Johnson live were 3 times Rocky wasn't with his son. Growing up, Dwayne shared his father with me and fans all over the world. And now that he had his father to himself one last time, he chose to share him again with fans all over the world. I watched the video alone, and then I called my son over to watch it with me. He was excited as he pointed out all the wrestlers he spotted in the video. He marked out when he saw his favorite star, Roman Reigns, sitting next to Sika. Even though we know they're father and son, it's still fun to peek into reality to see them together. He asked me why some people were kissing Rocky Johnson, and I explained that it's one last chance to kiss someone goodbye. Dwayne Johnson is a Hollywood star. Other wrestlers have been movie stars, but Johnson took the wrestler-turned-movie star role to a different level. And yet what he chose to do here was very personal. Perhaps he felt his father deserved this. The fans who love The Rock deserve a chance to say goodbye. But he did more than that. He allowed us fans who don't deserve it to look at his family dynamic and his relationships. He gave an opportunity to a father to talk to his son about life and death. And just as his father broke down barriers 50 years ago, Dwayne Johnson broke down the barrier of wrestler, movie star, huge hulking dude, and let us into his life. Thanks, Rock. And thanks, Rock.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Randall Floyd, the three-time Ohio Valley Wrestling Television Champion, and you right now are listening to the Can Crushers podcast.
Well said, English professor. Well said. That's Chad and I both agree. Not a lot of words, but it's time to give thanks, and we have to give thanks to 2-to-1 Media as they helped make our new intro. Now a couple months old, but we always have to give them props. Jeremy Klingesmith over there, 2-to-1 Media. Guys, they can do multi-camera live streaming of any event, drone photos and video podcasts, more. They're really great guys. Hook them up. Hit them up on... Yeah, I'm an idiot.
Or hook them up with money.
Hook them up with some money. Hit them up on Facebook. Those guys, they do some great stuff. And Nick Len...
Yeah, I was going to say, don't forget that Lendl
ring
guy.
Announcer guy. Yeah, Lendl, whatever. His kids are the best part of him.
Yeah, his kids and his wife.
Right.
They definitely make Nick a good
guy. They make Nick a good guy.
Didn't he get beat by Dave in some match or whatever?
Did he?
I
stopped. Once Lendl did this for us, I stopped following him. I'm good. I got what I got.
Okay, yeah.
No, all of them guys are amazing. Hey, a couple things. We love all the comments on Facebook and, reaching out to us on Instagram and Twitter and everything. Guys, share our podcast. We get more out of it. Go and rank us on iTunes and Spotify and all that. We're not ones to always beg for that, but we just want to tell you guys it's out there yet. So if you like the stupidness of us, in what we bring, diving into some things, going to some events, share it. You tell somebody because, hey, the Can Crushers, listen to this. They have cool spotlights every Wednesday as well. As we're working on one from a distance this week. Maybe I'm going to have you come down. I should have you come down because I don't know how to tackle this guy. We'll just leave it at that.
Take him out in the knees.
No, he's from a distance. Let me tell you, it's from a distance.
Like Statlander from another universe distance?
A universe that we haven't been to.
Oh, okay.
So, guys, like and share all our stuff, rank us, and then keep sending the emails in. Just like Thad, we want to put together a whole Ask Can Crusher podcast. Throw a week away of wrestling, probably not prior or right after a pay-per-view.
What would you guys think of...
They're not going to answer you right off the bat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. What would you guys think? Well, send us in emails what you would think about this. Comment on the page. What about us covering famous pay-per-views from the past, like back a ways, like let's say
Sold Out,
like in the 80s.
King of the Road?
No.
Come on!
Like good pay-per-views. Like
I was still so pissed at WrestleCade that Dustin would not. He knew because he heard me say it to you that I was going to ask him about the King of the Road match. He was like, I'm not talking to that son of a bitch because that was a bad match.
Any pay-per-views, obviously.
It could
the
be
better
a
the
segment.
pay-per-view. Yeah, it could. I mean, review matches.
They're in. And you see everybody else do it. I mean, why? We should just jump on it one time.
Yeah, a little bit. Or have a... We'd talked about this before, a roundtable discussion.
That's going to happen. About the books, we just need... when we do a cool-ass roundtable, we need people here at the table or we have to be at somebody's location. I don't want to do a great roundtable like that via Skype. Bringing in the English professor like that every week is for his own shtick is great. But to dedicate a whole roundtable to one thing, we need to be...
Yeah, what subjects would you like to see? Okay, granted, first one, straight up,
Strippers.
Strippers?
Okay.
Okay,
there, now get your train of thought back.
Okay. The Montreal... strippers. The Montreal Screwjob.
Right.
Well, there was a good segue from strippers to screwjobs. The Montreal Screwjob.
Right, because I have a different take, I know for a fact, than the English professor, and you're probably kind of in the middle. I'm the one in the middle. I think there's you're on one side, the English professor on the other side, and of course I'm in the middle. I don't know. But yeah, we want to do all of that, but I don't know. That's
anything, wrestling movies, whatever. Things that would make a
because
good
there's
discussion.
Sometimes that even... We can cover a week of wrestling in moments. We can throw the WWE away and just cover NWA and AEW, and then transition over. But yeah, I'd like to get more interviews set up that you're down here, and I think this week's it's going to be the first one. Nonetheless, all right. What else you have going on this week? Throw wrestling out the window now. You have to read a book.
I got to read a book. Do I have to do a written essay on this?
I don't know. You're not really Spanish. I am. Essay? You don't get it? Yeah! I get to say those. Martinez. No, you just have to know a little bit about it.
You're about as Spanish as Tommy Rich was a full-blooded Italian.
Well, I'm Italian, too. I'm both of those.
Okay.
Perfect. Real quick, this is going to probably piss some people off. During the little bit of time I had between basketball games yesterday, did you watch any of the XFL?
No.
Are you going to watch any of the XFL?
I'm going to watch it just out of curiosity. One thing I did notice today, saw a little bit of chatter, that a lot of people were surprised by the quality of the play.
It wasn't bad.
Crowds, they're going to be there. They're not going to be there. People want to see what it is. But people were surprised by the quality of the play.
You hear this is weird. This is if you haven't watched it, I'm going to give you a spoiler already. The coaches are mic'd up. You hear them calling the play into the helmets of the quarterback, so on and so forth. I don't understand why they're doing that. I'm all right with it. I
think it's a different spin on
what is the NFL or ESPN do? Is it mic'd up? They call
Yeah.
it or something like that, where they'll have clips of the guys talking crap.
But why don't you have somebody in the other press box watching the feed? That I'm always thinking starting
That's
the
how
pot.
That's how they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to address that.
Because why? I could have somebody watching the other feed.
Bill Belichick,
right? Hey, they're running the 65 slant flat pig to the left. Okay, well, I'm going to deal with that then. I mean, they're doing it so quick, though, that I don't know if you...
I mean...
there's going to be a way of cheating at some point.
Yeah, there just has to be. I mean, look at the baseball scandal now.
It is baseball season, though, so I'm excited.
The football...
How many
there's
scandals?
Always accusations about stealing plays and stuff, and it's going to be interesting. I think they need to address that specific there.
I like and then finally we'll wrap it up. A couple more things to say. I like after the touchdown you can go for 1, 2, or 3 points depending on the yardage.
Yeah, I did see that. That kind of different spin. Like I said, they got to do something to get people in. Are they expecting this to?
Vince McMahon expects to lose $375 million over the next 3 years on this.
Yeah.
I wish I could expect to lose $50. Because then I'm broke.
I don't understand it. If he wants to lose money like that,
donate it to Can Crushers.
Donate to me. I'll take it.
And you're going to donate some to us then?
Yes.
See, in that sense, I still get some.
Okay. Yeah, that'll work.
Guys, thanks for listening again this week. Check us out on Spotify, Buzzsprout, iTunes, all the podcast outlets. We're there. Send us some emails at cancrusher69@gmail.com. That's where we're going to have the Ask the Can Crusher show. I want to let it sit out there for when is the Saudi show? Because we don't cover those, by the way. Just saying.
Is it next?
It's the 20. It's the 26th.
Okay.
So that weekend will be the Ask the Can Crusher show. How about that? February 27th is a Thursday. So March 1st, we have 3. Yeah. Let's go March 1st as the Ask the Can Crusher show. So
unless we get in so many questions.
Yeah, then we'll go quick.
Then we can go quicker. But send in everything. Like we said, you want us to review show, send that in. Our thoughts on X situation in wrestling, send that in. You want to clarify long-standing rumors in wrestling, send us that in. Anything.
Yeah. You can also get us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. At CanCrusher69. We've been chatting. That's the way that I'm getting to all the talent on both of those ways. It's nice because we have some great conversations before we set up anything.
Talent meaning people other than the man dime.
Well, right. I've had some nice conversations recently, actually, with the dime piece. So that's pretty nice.
Are those 3 o'clock in the morning conversations?
3 o'clock in the morning, down
like
on the
couch
before, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, those ones. All right, nothing else going on this week for you. Homework. I have a couple more basketball games, and basketball season's almost over besides playoffs. So I'll have more time to watch more wrestling.
That's what it's there for. Good time to be a wrestling fan.
Now it's time to open the box. Guys, have a great week as we'll see you Wednesday with a spotlight from someplace else. Chad's like, what?
Statlander.
It's definitely not Statlander.
Shit.
Hi, this is Chase Destiny, and you're listening to Can Crushers podcast. You want to tune in each and every week because you don't want to miss a thing.